Good morning, this is Pastor Jeff, and it is Friday. Congratulations to making it to Friday. Friday, June 28th, 2024. We're here for our daily lectionary readings. Psalm 130, once again, is going to be our psalm reading. 1 Samuel chapter 20 now. Verses 1 through 25 is going to be the Old Testament reading, and then our New Testament reading is going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 through 7. We are going to read out of the Message today. Psalm 130. Help, God. I've hit rock bottom. Master, hear my cry for help. Listen hard. Open your ears. Listen to my cries for mercy. If you, God, kept records of wrongdoing, who would stand a chance? As it turns out, forgiveness is your habit, and that's why you are worshipped. I pray to God, my life a prayer, and wait for what he'll say and do. My life's on the line before God, my Lord, waiting and watching till morning. Waiting and watching till morning. Oh, Israel, wait and watch for God. With God's arrival comes love. With God's arrival comes generous redemption, no doubt about it. He'll redeem Israel, buy back Israel from captivity to sin. Old Testament reading, 1 Samuel chapter 20. David got out of Naioth and Ramah alive and went to Jonathan. What do I do now? What wrong have I inflicted on your father that makes him so determined to kill me? Nothing, said Jonathan. You've done nothing wrong, and you're not going to die. Really, you're not. My father tells me everything. He does nothing, whether big or little, without confiding in me. So why would he do this behind my back? It can't be. But David said, your father knows that we are the best of friends. So he says to himself, Jonathan must know nothing of this. If he does, he'll side with David. But it's true. As sure as God lives and as sure as you're alive before me right now, he's determined to kill me. Jonathan said, tell me what you have in mind. I'll do anything for you. David said, tomorrow marks the new moon. I'm scheduled to eat dinner with the king. Instead, I'll go hide in the field until the evening of the 3rd. If your father misses me, say, David asked if he could run down to Bethlehem, his hometown, for the anniversary reunion and worship with his family. If he says good, then I'm safe. But if he gets angry, you'll know for sure that he's made up his mind to kill me. Oh, stick with me in this. You've entered into a covenant of God. Remember? If I'm in the wrong, go ahead and kill me yourself. Why bother giving me up to your father? Never, exclaimed Jonathan. I'll never do that. If I get the slightest hint that my father is fixated on killing you, I'll tell you. David asked, and whom will you get to tell me if your father comes back with a harsh answer? Come outside, said Jonathan. Let's go to the field. When the two of them were out in the field, Jonathan said, as God, the God of Israel, is my witness, by this time tomorrow I'll get it out of my father how he feels about you. Then I'll let you know what I learn. May God do his worst to me if I let you down. If my father still intends to kill you, I'll tell you and get you out of here in one piece. And God be with you, as he's been with my father. If I make it through this alive, continue to be my covenant friend. And if I die, keep the covenant friendship with my family forever. And when God finally rids the earth of David's enemy, stay loyal to Jonathan. Jonathan repeated his pledge of love and friendship to David. He loved David more than his own soul. Jonathan then laid out his plan. Tomorrow is the new moon, and you'll be missed when you don't show up for dinner. On the 3rd day, when they quit expecting you, come to the place where you hid before, and wait beside that big boulder. I'll shoot 3 arrows in the direction of the boulder. Then I'll send off my servant. Go find the arrows. If I yell after the servant, the arrows are on this side. Retrieve them. That's the signal that you can return safely, as God lives, and not a thing to fear. But if I yell, The arrows are farther out. Then run for it. God wants you out of here. Regarding all the things we've discussed, remember that God's in on this with us to the very end. David hid in the field. On the holiday, the new moon, the king came to the table to eat. He sat where he always sat, the place against the wall, and Jonathan across the table, and Abner at Saul's side. But David's seat was empty. Saul didn't mention it at the time, thinking, something's happened that made him unclean. That's it. He's probably unclean for the holy meal. Our New Testament reading comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 through 7. Now, friends, I want to report on the surprising and generous ways in which God is working in the churches in Macedonia province. Fierce troubles came down on the people of the church, pushing them to the very limit. The trial exposed their true colors. They were incredibly happy, though desperately poor. The pressure triggered something totally unexpected, an outpouring of pure and generous gifts. I was there and saw it for myself. They gave offerings of whatever they could, far more than they could afford, pleading for the privilege of helping out of the relief of the poor Christians. This was totally, spontaneously, entirely their own idea, and caught us completely off guard. What explains it was that they had first given themselves unreservedly to God and to us. The only giving simply flowed out of the purpose of God working in their lives. That's what prompted us to ask Titus to bring the relief offering to your attention, so that what was so well begun could be finished up. You do so well in so many things. You trust God, you're articulate, you're insightful, you're passionate, you love us. Now, do your best in this too. And here ends our readings for the day.